Hey, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be looking at Dune Part 2, directed by Denis Villeneuve. Denis Villeneuve has done it yet again. Not only has he proven himself as one of the finest directors working in the blockbuster space, he has adapted the apparently unadaptable in a manner that resonates so deeply with a majority of critics and audiences alike. To capture the complexity, horror, beauty, and ambience in an IP such as this felt nearly impossible for so long, and seemingly so with ease. Villeneuve and crew have managed to craft not only one of the grandest sci-fi films to date, but one of the greatest blockbusters of all time. You've probably already heard the statements comparing it to that of Empire Strikes Back or The Two Towers, and it's all true. Dune Part 2 proves that this is the defining franchise of this generation, and one that will be revered and taken inspiration from for years to come. Whereas the first film remains as somewhat of a slow burn, Dune Part 2 starts with a bang and never lets up. Immediately, Villeneuve and DP Greg Fraser transport you into the heart of Arrakis, and the desert has never felt so intoxicating. It represents so much more than another world. The environment and setting properly meshing into the malleable Paul Atreides' mind, mutating into something much more sinister. The film picks up shortly after the first part. Paul, played by Chalamet, is being led by the Fremen and Chani, played by Zendaya, to train alongside her people. Lady Jessica, played by Ferguson, is reluctant at first, but after garnering the power of the Fremen Reverend Mother, she is able to take her manipulation to the next level and garner more followers for her son. As Paul sees visions of going to South Arrakis as the impendable doom that will catalyze a holy war in his name, he urges himself to believe that he is not the Messiah. But through Bene Gesserit propaganda and the inevitable Harkonnen attack, he must do what he believes is necessary to avenge his father, whether or not that means sacrificing anyone and everyone he may love in the process. Chalamet has always been solid in every role he's played, whether it be in Little Women, The French Dispatch, or Bones and All. He's worked with some pretty brilliant artists to get to where he's at. But in Dune Part 2, he is operating on a completely different level than he ever has before. His performance ranges from portraying this looming sense of vulnerability to this unstable magnitude of a force to be reckoned with. Regardless of source material, seeing a blockbuster of this scale so clearly portray its protagonist as a villain feels monumental. Villeneuve strikes a perfect balance between painting a clear picture of Paul's morality without ever feeling overbearing in its messaging. This is a blockbuster that feels reminiscent of the times that we are living in its themes, execution, world building, and more. It shines a light on how power, even if used idealistically for the greater good, will always serve as a monkey's paw in and of itself. And Chalamet aside, this is a cast for the ages. Zendaya, Florence Pugh, and Austin Butler are among the new generation of true movie stars that have come together to ensure that this movie reaches its full potential. And that's not even including industry legends Javier Bardem, Christopher Walken, and Rebecca Ferguson, who steal every single scene that they're in. The amount of talent in this film is honestly overwhelming, and it doesn't just stop at the acting. Director of photography Greg Fraser is one of the few cinematographers to have revolutionized the look, feel, and texture of the modern day blockbuster. And Dune Part 2 continues his efforts. Watching this in IMAX truly feels as if you have been transported into another world, embodying the blockbuster escapism that audiences have been primed for, while ensuring another level of depth to the storytelling and themes as well. Hans Zimmer also brings it all that he's got, orchestrating his best album since 2014's Interstellar. His score is sweeping, whether romantic, cruel, or introspective. One thing is always for sure: it's consistently awe-inspiring. Villeneuve has crafted a thoughtful and timeless spectacle with Dune Part 2. The way he films action set pieces feels so tangible, with a sense of true scale and tension within every shot. Paul and Chani running from cover to cover to take down a monumental Harkonnen mech feels like a sequence straight out of a video game. in the best way possible. The greatest blockbusters of all time allow the audiences to delve into the characters, the world, and everything in between. Dune Part 2 captures that perfectly. Amongst a few others in the blockbuster space, Villeneuve is a director that deserves your full, unwavering attention in a theatrical setting. Whether or not one completely meshes with his clean-cut sci-fi aesthetic, it's undeniable that he retains this passion and intricacy even working with larger budgets. What an absolute behemoth of a film. Bring on Messiah. So yeah, I'm gonna have to give Dune Part 2 a 4.5 out of 5. Like I said, it truly is an absolute behemoth of a film. I enjoyed every second of it, whether it be the sweeping romance or the intense action sequences or just seeing it all fall apart. Villeneuve truly, to me, is one of the most interesting directors working with these large-scale budgets, and it also proves that instead of saturating the market with all these throwaway $200 million movies, it truly just takes a few to find that perfect balance and make it feel like all of this is worth it in the first place. There have truly only been a few movies in my life that I have felt this full immersion with on the big screen. And I have to say that Dune Part 2 is one of them, not even in a manner that the first one was able to accomplish. This truly is a blockbuster in a league of its own, and I cannot wait for Part 3, even if it takes a few years to hit theaters. Anyways, guys, thank you for watching. My name was Abby. This was Spaceman Chuck. If you guys enjoyed the video, leave a like. It helps me out a lot. And yeah, I'll see you next time.